Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we're talking about changes to abilities, Strand, and a few other tidbits that we think you should know before Lightfall arrives later this month. Now, before we get into the heart of this week's TWAB, here's a brief recap of what we talked about in last week's blog post. First, a recap of our most recent Lightfall Exotics preview, a deeper look into the upcoming weapon changes, a heads up on the 24-hour maintenance downtime window that kicks off on February the 27th, 2023 at 9 a.m. Pacific, a message from Black at Bungie, and more. Yeah, guys, we've got videos on all of those. We pretty much covered everything that dropped, the Lightfall Exotics, also a breakdown of the trailers. Feel free to check that one out, guys. We'll have links to those in the description below. Now, here's a brief overview on what we're going to be diving into this week. We're catching up on the latest Strand details, diving into performance issues tied to latency, particularly in Crucible, getting creeped out with the latest Creepy Crawly Fest for the Lost voting, and figuring out where we're going next in Trials of Osiris, looking at the latest in Prime Gaming loot to snag, and taking a closer look at the VFX integration of Strand and how that relates to Destiny, and previewing a few other snippets we think you should know. Now, onto the TWAB. Supports for Syria and Turkey. Oh yeah, this is crazy, guys. I saw the news on this last night. In the early hours of Monday, February the 6th, a devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck southern Turkey near the Syrian border. Hours later, the region was hit again by 7.5 magnitude aftershock. Now, cities across Turkey and Syria lie in destruction. Over 11,000 have been killed, with many more presumed dead, and hundreds of thousands are seeking refuge during the freezing winter months. The hearts of the entire team at Bungie go out to all those impacted by this heartbreaking disaster. Since the news broke, the Bungie Foundation and teams across the studio have been actively working to develop a support plan to deliver aid and care to the people and families in the region. Today, we're announcing our plan to help those in Turkey and Syria, and we're asking for the Bungie community to join us. The generosity of our community during the Games to Give 2022 has enabled us to pledge $50,000 each to our partners at Direct Relief and the International Rescue Committee. These funds will be put to immediate use. These organizations are already supporting the efforts in the region. Now, Direct Relief has committed an initial $1 million in aid to support search and rescue operations and healthcare organizations in both countries, and has already begun to mobilize its medical aid deliveries that will be critical in treating traumatic injuries caused by falling debris, crush injuries, fractures, and more. Now, the International Rescue Committee, IRC, is scaling up the response to support affected communities in both Turkey and Syria, which will include the provision of immediate cash, basic items, and hygiene supplies. More than 1,000 IRC staff members in Syria are providing life-saving healthcare and other support. So, call to action, we're asking the Bungie community to join us in supporting the humanitarian aid effort in the region. A special emblem has been designed to show support for the relief efforts, Compassion Concentric, which will be available to all Guardians who donate $25 or more at https:/bungie.ie/quake. We'll actually link that link down below, guys. All funds raised during this campaign will go directly to the Direct Relief and the IRC. A great looking emblem, but more than that, guys, this has been a catastrophic event that has hurt so many people. So as much as I am all about some sexy emblems, the cause here, guys, is really important. Our community always shows up in times of need, and the people in Turkey and Syria need a Guardian's light now more than ever. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. Love, the Bungie Foundation. Every day is a flying day with Strand. If you ever thought to yourself, I'd really like to get my Spider-Man on, but make it green, then you're in luck. Strand is swinging its way into Destiny 2 with Lightfall, and to celebrate the upcoming launch, we dove deep into what this new subclass will have to offer with a nifty standalone article and a shiny new trailer. Here's a brief recap on all the radioactive green goodness that was shared earlier this week for Strand. So first, new terms to learn like suspend, unravel, and sever, a breakdown of what Strand looks like for all classes, a first look at new fragments, and a few other pieces of the Lightfall puzzle that we think you'll enjoy. Some crazy stuff we saw in the trailer, guys. So much to break down. I hate to refer you to all these other videos, but again, we've already covered this. We're also going to be putting out a video here soon of what exotics that we currently have are going to be synergizing really nicely next season. Now, we need to talk about latency. Oh, is this finally happening? Earlier this season, we started investigating a new latency issue. The end effect you would see is one or more players standing against a wall or not taking any damage for several seconds, teleporting across the map, and possibly killing you. After learning that this could even happen in private matches, we were able to eliminate the new matchmaking changes as a possible cause. We then looked at new features as the possible culprits, and after ruling those out, we started looking at external sources. Valve has constantly been making improvements to its Steam Dataground Relay, known as SDR service, to provide safe, high-quality Destiny 2 connections. In this case, they found new relays which were not configured properly and severely impacted network quality between players during peak hours. The problematic relays were taken offline at 3 p.m. last Friday, pending a more thorough investigation, and this appears to have resolved the immediate issue for players. While this doesn't solve all latency problems in the game, it has fixed this particularly thorny issue that has plagued the game since the start of Season 19. In our own investigations, we also found a few hidden bugs that should be fixed with Lightfall. These should improve network quality even further for players with good network connections. Alright? Granted, I'm a tad bit skeptical. Dude, connections is overall just tend to get worse season after season, right? Now, with great Strand power comes great fashionability. For those of you looking to make other Guardians a little green with envy, when it comes to your fashion sense, we've got good news. When Lightfall launches, every item that changes its appearance based on your currently equipped subclass will be compatible with Strand. Whether it's a piece of Solstice armor from years past, a favorite finisher, or one of our new subclass-based emotes, you'll soon be able to express yourself in Strand colors when using a Strand subclass. Oh, all right. 2020, 2021, and 2022 Solstice armor sets. Oh, look at that, guys. That is sexy. Ghost Fist Bump exotic emotes, Antaeus wards and ornaments, no backup plans and ornaments, Ghost projections, and for those of you who prefer function over fashion, good news. The following armor and weapon perks will also be compatible with Strand when applicable come Lightfall. This includes Elemental Capacitor, Osmosis, Explosive Payload, Dragonfly, Cluster Bombs, alright? Chain Reaction, Chromatic Spire, Crystalline Transistor. We were wondering about this. Man of Battle Harmony's Absorption Cells, the Bombardier's Parting Gift, Verity's Brow, the Fourth Magic, Fellwinter's Helm, Warlord's End. You're gonna have 3 different melees there for Warlock, so that's gonna be nuts. And more as a possibility in the future post-launch. Now start thinking about how you'll weave these fashion updates into your transmog and perk updates into your loadouts for the next step of Destiny 2's story. Callus is clearly upping his fashion game. It's only fair we do the same. Now, does this update resonate with you? Some early warnings for folks looking to prepare for weapon crafting and Lightfall. As part of an initiative to integrate weapon crafting into the broader core economy, we'll be completely removing resonant elements from the game. Standard currencies such as Glimmer, Enhancement Cores, and etc. will replace elemental costs that exist today. We'll also be removing the Deepsight attunement objective altogether. Resonant and harmonic alloys will still be used at launch. However, we are planning to overhaul these currencies later in a Lightfall year. Ascendant alloys will remain as is for now. Much of this info is hot off the press, so apologies for the late warning. Again, guys, Bungie is continuing to consolidate things, trying to make things easier in the weapon crafting department. You remember how many different currencies we had at the launch of weapon crafting? It was nuts. Now, a prime day for some prime gaming. Guardians, it's time. Time to snag some extra gear for your Lightfall adventures. For those space magic wielding players that are part of the Prime Gaming Club, we've got a new bundle. Oh, look at this Sunshot, which by the way, will be dealing Scorch next season. You've also got the Sunshot ornaments, the Jotun Exotic, Sparrow, looking mighty sexy. Now we asked, you answer, and things got creepy crawly. We asked Guardians to weigh in on what they want to see for this year's Festival of the Lost and what the next Trials of Osiris map should be. But first, let's talk about those creepy crawlies. Why did spiders take out beetles nearly across the board when it came down to player votes? Probably because they're more acclimated to living on the web. Bad puns aside, Spider Chick took the win despite the intriguing look of beetle fashion. We did things differently this year by allowing Guardians to vote for each class. That seemed to work out well. Here's a breakdown of our latest Festival of the Lost voting and where exactly Team Beetle lost the fight. So first, Hunters had 56% of the vote for Team Spider. Titans also said they were Team Spider with a whopping 72% of the votes, and Warlocks broke the mold altogether with Team Beetle taking 53% of the votes. All right, there you go. Dude, Titans, we had an overwhelming vote there for Team Spider, but barely won it there for Hunters and Warlocks. Now let's get creepy for Trials. Drum roll, please. The winner is Radiant Cliffs. For 44% of the total votes, this is the Trials map of choice starting tomorrow at reset. I actually like Radiant Cliffs okay, so we'll be streaming it tomorrow. Other than that, guys, there is a number of known issues that Bungie's looking into. Now, a further note, the Destiny Content Vault update. The Destiny Content Vault update guide has been updated with information on what activities, vendors, and destinations will enter the DCV with the launch of Lightfall. Expansion content will no longer be added to the DCV. Players can expect all seasons 16 through 19 content to enter the DCV, excluding the Season 16 Psyops Battlegrounds and the Season 19 Heist Battlegrounds, which will instead be added to the Vanguard Ops playlist beginning in Season 20. All right, guys, so kind of a warning there for those activities going away. Now, items being deprecated at the start of Year 6. With the launch of Lightfall on February the 28th, 2023, Destiny 2 will transition from Year 5 to Year 6. At this time, certain items will become deprecated and no longer available for use. For the full list of these items going away at the start of Year 6, click here. This actually brings up everything, including Risen Umbral Energy, Figments of Darkness, Opulent Keys, etc. We've already went into detail of like legacy focusing and such, but yes, these items are going away. Bungie even has a breakdown of all the years of Destiny 2 and the content associated with each year. And as a final note here from Bungie, and that's a wrap on another TWAB. Lightfall will be here before we know it, and we know that many of you still have more questions. Don't worry, we've got a few more things to share before February the 28th, but until then, make sure you're drinking that water, keeping up that self-care, and always leading with your kindest foot forward. Until next time, friends, I should go. Love, Hippie. All right, fellas, that is your TWAB for this week. Again, it seems like the bulk of our information is hitting on Wednesday now. TWABs are like serving as like recaps and whatever else is left. I'm sure we're gonna get back to our normal cadence eventually. But again, if you missed any of those videos, feel free to check them down below in the description. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.